I'm here with the founder and CEO of GrowVC, Valto. So go ahead, Valto. How does GrowVC work?
First of all, in our service, we have three basic roles for users. We have entrepreneur, then we have experts who provide services for startups. They can be incubators, lawyers, accountants, designers, whatever. And then we have the traditional investor profile or role that is like an angel investor type. And on top of this, we have the very core profile, which is the startup that includes all the team members, basically entrepreneurs, as individuals in a startup profile. So the basic service for networking, for discussions and such in our service is free, the very basic level. But when a startup wants to publish their funding round and use our tools to go through that funding round using our models and documentations and such, they will have to become a subscribing member to get access to these tools and to be able to publish their startup profile for investors and other paying members. At the same time, an expert, if they want to become an active member and actually offer their services or look for services that startups are looking in their startup, maybe they're looking for a lawyer and are willing to offer equity for their work or such, if they want to get access to this level, an expert also have to subscribe. And as an investor, you're free to browse through the kind of startups in our service and see what's in there. But if you want to participate on the funding round and basically start a more serious discussion and following of a startup and access to your investment tools in our service, so get the deal flow and actually some features and functions as an investor to follow and look for startups and participate on their funding round, you also have to become a paying member. So we have two levels. We have the generic free level, and then we have the more serious member area for going through the funding round and using tools to build actual startups and look for experts and participate on startups as an expert or make an investment offers for startups. And for startups, obviously, to do the funding round, list how much funding they're looking for, what type of investors they're looking for, what type of services they're looking for and willing to pay with equity or money. So this is the members area. And now every individual, when they pay for membership, which the membership fees start from $20 a month up to $140 per month. From this money, this could simply be our business model. This could be our whole service, and that would be the end of it, and that would be our revenue. But instead of us just charging to use these tools and providing services for members, we actually also want to support startups, and we want to align our own interest with the same kind of position that the entrepreneurs have and the startups have and the actual investors have. So we want to set ourselves in the same boat with everyone else. Therefore, we put our money, 75% of our money we allocate into community fund. But instead of us being the bottleneck and trying to be the best experts in the world selecting best startup ideas that needs to be funded, we want to crowdsource this part to our community. Therefore, we allocate as a budget in our community fund, we allocate to each member that they can find the startups and actually allocate their portion of community fund to any startups that they think are worth of the community fund investments. And this is kind of the crowdsourcing of the ideas and doing the basic, finding the good ideas And I call this micro level similar to like function in a blog. So you have your readers who just read, then you have those who are more engaged and make a comment, but then you have the like feature where you can just like a post or you can like someone else's comment. So this micro level acts kind of similarly. It's a small step with small money to allocate into startups to indicate what startup ideas are interesting. And when a lot of people are doing this, then that starts to accumulate, and some ideas or startups start to collect more funding. And this is a good indicator for those investor members who can make direct investments from their own funds, from their own budget that is separate from community fund. As a typical angel investor, you invest from your own money. So they can say, okay, these are starting to look interesting. So they are screened by crowd and collecting part of the money from the community and from then direct investors. But all of these transactions that happen in our service, these are indications only. The money actually doesn't move when someone allocates their $15 of their community fund budget to a startup. That money doesn't go to that startup's account. It stays on the community fund. And the same way, if an angel investor wants to invest $10,000 or $50,000 into startup, that is an indication that they are willing to do so if the startup is successful on their fundraising. And so that money is not sent from investor to the startup. And at the time when the startup has collected all of their funding that they're looking for, whether it's 100,000 or 50,000 or 10,000 or 300,000, at that stage it goes to closing process. And basically the startup profile is freezed in the service, so it's not active anymore. And this goes to our legal partners or small investment bank or partners or local partners, depending on what market the startup is, what is the most beneficial partner to use. And they will actually look through all the startup details, all the information, all the investment memorandums, whatever material is then distributed, making sure that all of those who are making direct investments have all the information that they should have to be able to make an investment decision. And at the same time, this legal partner will check that all the investors are in fact allowed to make investments directly to that startup from the angel investor side. And as for the whole community and representing the community fund is a GrowVC investment company itself. And if everyone is happy with how the details and facts are at that point, then the actual investment documents are closed. And after that, the money is transferred from the investors to startups and from community fund to startups. If for some reason the investors don't feel comfortable and someone wants to pull away from that deal at that time, they are free to do so. Then maybe some other investors will step in and to cover that portion. If not, or if too many pulls out, then the startup goes back to the service as an open case and the closing didn't happen. So this is to the closing process. And then if a startup is not successful, but then basically it's like a lost investment in any other case that would be done in any other place as well. No one gets anything, but everyone still has their equity stake as long as the company exists, whether it's resolved or whatever. And the same is for community fund, that is GrowVCs. But if it's successful, then those who are direct investors, accredited investors with direct investor profiles, having invested more directly on startups, they will get 100% of their return on investments directly. There is no commissions, there is no fees from these direct investments that are done on top of community fund. So we take nothing from those.